Devin Haney says he doesn't like Loma. He wants to beat him and send him into retirement. Let's go, young king. Let's talk.
Push the weight in no flex. The live is one in the six. Fit the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You would run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, trains out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan Bronze on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Just saw a interview, article in a boxing scene. I'll put the link in the description if you care to read it. I'm looking at this picture. I remember I used it before. It's kind of funny because I look at the picture of Jesus on, I think that's Jesus on Loma's shirt with an attitude. It sort of looks like he's looking towards his right, which is our left, towards Devin Haney, like, oh, Christ. I gotta deal with black Jesus. Yeah. Anyway, let's go to this article. Devin Haney says, I don't like Loma. I want to beat him bad, send him to retirement. This is written by Jake Donovan, one of the few boxing journalists I trust. Salute to Jake Donovan. You go follow him on Twitter. Devin Haney can still recall the day when he received word that he was named WBC lightweight champion by default. Now let's stop right there for a second. Why was he named by default? WBC champion by default. Hey, Paulie! Hey, Paulie! Hey, Paulie Max! Paulie Malignaggi! Hey, Paulie! Sorry, I have Tourette's, y'all. Why was he named WBC champion by default? Why am I calling Paulie Malignaggi's name out? Let's not act like this email champion thing was Devin's fault. Who sent the email? I always say that. Who sent the email? The guy on the right with Jesus on his shirt. He requested the franchise status rather than face Devin Haney. You know that, Paulie. Your man is a coward. But there's nowhere to go now. But let me continue to read. It wasn't at all the plan he had in mind. Not even at the age of 20, when most boxers in his position would gladly accept the easiest path to their first major title. His goal at the time was to challenge then unified lightweight titleist Vasily Lomachenko. The roles are now reversed, where Haney now gets to defend the undisputed crown versus the former 3-division titleist. Do I even need to go into how Devin Haney has had the hardest road to become undisputed? No, I don't need to. We were all there. To the haters, I know you don't like it, but he's there now. What are you going to do now? Not a goddamn thing. But let us read. Agreeing to the fight was never a concern of Haney. Neither was the manner in which he plans to make him pay for the matchup taking this long to come to fruition. This is what Devin Haney says. He says, he made me wait 4 years to fight him. Since I was 20 years old, Haney noted during the first part of ESPN's Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Haney vs. Lomachenko series, which premiered Sunday. He says, I don't like Loma. I want to beat him bad. I want to send him to retirement. Haney, 29 wins, no losses, 15 knockouts, will defend his fully unified lightweight title reign versus Ukraine's Lomachenko. 17 wins, 2 losses. 2 losses on Anderson Salido, Teofimo Lopez. 2 losses and 11 knockouts. Atop the May 20th ESPN pay-per-view event from the MGM Grand Garden Arena, Haney's current hometown, Las Vegas, Nevada. 2 losses, y'all. Not 1, but 2. Not undefeated. 2 losses. What? What do you mean? Drew, what are you talking about? This.
Unified, undefeated. Unified, undefeated.
What?
Undefeated.
What?
Undefeated.
What?
Undefeated. Undefeated.
What?
Undefeated.
What the hell is even that?
See that? You see that? Do you see why what we do here is so important? Do you see? This ain't the first time they did that. ESPN tried to tell us that this guy was undefeated twice. Look at that. 14 wins, no losses, 10 knockouts. Nonsense. Okay? Nonsense. This is why we're here doing this. See, this is a reality. This is a reality. So I'm going to leave this picture up here so while I read the rest of this. As noted by Haney, the fight was first eyed by the unbeaten American in 2019. Lomachenko claimed the vacant WBC title and defended his WBA and WBO lightweight straps in a 12-round unanimous decision over England's Luke Campbell in their in their fight back in August of 2019. Battle of the Olympic gold medalists. That's how they coined that. Whatever. Haney claimed the interim WBC lightweight title. Just 2 weeks later, fourth-round stoppage over Zaire Abdullaev, who was unbeaten at the time of their September clash in 2019 in New York City. I went to that fight. I was at the Hoodoo Theater. I went to that fight. Devin cracked him upside his head so hard it sounded like a gunshot. Everyone said, "Oh!" And he couldn't answer. Abdullaev didn't answer for, I think that was first or second round. I forget. It was relatively early. Lomachenko was subsequently named WBC's franchise titleist at the request of the promoter Top Rank in October of 2019 during the WBC's annual convention. He was named franchise titleist. Franchise, y'all. He was the second one. Canelo was the first. What do we know about the franchise status? Let me remind you, if you're here for the first time. Instead of fighting Jamal Charlo, Canelo Alvarez requested the franchise status. Because the reason why we know he requested it, because that's a rule. The WBC came up with this status. Canelo was the first one. Rather than fight Jamal Charlo, he requested it. Nobody said anything. He dumped his regular belt, the WBC real belt. And that's pretty much how Jamal Charlo ended up winning. He didn't fight Canelo for it because Canelo ducked him. The second one that we know of was this situation that we're speaking on right now. Okay? Vasily Lomachenko ducked Devin Haney. Paulie Malignaggi knows it. The world knows it. Haney was upgraded to full titleist, having since defended the belt 6 times, including its 12-round decision win over unbeaten lineal WBA, IBF, and WBO titleist George Kambosos Jr. to fully unify the lightweight division last June in Melbourne, Australia. He beat George for it and then defended it both times in Australia. Flawless victory. Ironically, Haney landed the Kambosos fight in place of Lomachenko, who was able to continue to commit due to his obligation to serve in the Ukrainian military in the defense of the ongoing Russian invasion. Let me critique that for a second. Kambosos reached out to Loma, and Loma declined. It wasn't because of his obligations. He could have left because around that same time, Alexander Usyk was allowed to leave to face Anthony Joshua. It was all around the same time. Okay? After AJ lost to Usyk, Lomachenko was there in the ring. So he could have fought Kambosos, but he didn't do it. George Kambosos said, "I'd rather give this fight to my Christian brother." That's what he said, y'all. He said that. Why would he say Christian brother rather than a black American Muslim? I know what time it is, but let me read. Haney turned the opportunity into a lucrative 3-fight deal, 2 trips to Australia, and now his long-desired showdown with the Ukrainian southpaw, who has been on his radar since he first entered the title picture as a growing 20-year-old. Haney is viewed to beat what is it, 275 favorite to prevail over Loma. And let me say this real quick before I finish reading this. Well, let me finish reading this first. 11 years his senior, and who enters as the challenger and as a smaller fighter. So Devin Haney's a 275 favorite to beat this guy. He's 11 years younger, and he's a hell of a lot bigger. It's unfamiliar territory for the two-time Olympic gold medalist and former 3-division title holder, who is normally afforded a position of power in nearly every title fight since his June 2014 WBO featherweight title win over Gary Russell Jr. Loma has never been the underdog, noted Haney. This time, he fighting the champion, the bigger guy, the stronger guy, the faster guy, the younger guy. All odds are stacked against him. That is an article. Link will be in the description. Here's my opinion. Let's not forget, Devin Haney also tried to further his commitment to Top Rank, the WBO, for another title shot. I'm sorry, for another name that's under the Top Rank banner. A young man by the name of Shakur Stevenson. Okay? I'm talking to you other fans now. He tried to stay there. But Bob Arum said, nope, no resign. You know why? Bob Arum so badly wants Shakur to be the one to beat Vasily Lomachenko. So once again, although he is the younger, bigger, stronger, faster athlete, he's going in up against all odds. I believe the fix is in. Devin not only has to go in there in style on Lomachenko, he has to dominate him, completely dominate him, ruin those dreams, make Bob Arum second think, beat Lomachenko so bad that Bob says, you know what? I got Shakur here. We got to make that happen. If it makes dollars, it makes sense. But Lomachenko wasn't as advertised. You see, this is another guy who's not a bad fighter, but they put this guy on a pedestal. They did the same thing with Triple G. And I can name a bunch of other fighters they did it to, or did it for, rather. But they're not as advertised. Is Lomachenko really good in the ring? Yes. Is he the best I've ever seen? No. They've lied to us about his record. They did it in plain sight. They told us he was undefeated. He wasn't. He didn't rematch Orlando Salido. He didn't run it back with Teofimo Lopez. His fans didn't hold his feet to the flame and say, yo, look, we need to run that back. They didn't do that. He requested a franchise status. And even when he stood up there and lied and said, hey, man, Mauricio offered it to me. Guess what, Vasily? Even if it was offered to you, you didn't have to take it. You ducked Devin. And the only reason why you're taking this fight, why? Is because there's nowhere for you to go now. What would he do? Other than fighting Devin Haney, what would he do? You know what he tried to do? You know what he mentioned? He said this weight is too big for him. Lightweight? Looks like heavyweight. You said this is too big for you. He mentioned Inui at 122. What is he at, 122, 126? What are we talking about here? Look, man, you guys put him on a pedestal. You did this. He stuck around at the amateurs, was beating on teenagers. He was over there, grown man. You guys did this. Never forget what they did to Guillermo Rigondeaux. He was successfully frozen out, boxed out, had to go up 2 weight divisions to fight this guy. I went to that fight too. And no disrespect to Rigo, but he is the size of a 6th grader. With all the skill in the world, they froze that guy out. Nobody said anything. His best win against my brother Nonito Donaire was also his worst loss. HBO didn't factor that in. The what if he won. Well, he won, and what was his prize? What was the results of that? Successfully frozen out by guys like Abner Mares, Leo Santa Cruz, Frampton, Quigg, and nobody said anything. He had to eat food, go up and wait and fight Vasily Lomachenko. Vasily beats him. You know, he broke his hand in the fight, whatever, but he quit. They started calling him Nomaschenko and put him on a pedestal. Now, can he fight? Yes, he can. But these guys know what they can and cannot do. And he's been running from Devin Haney for 4 years. Well, you're old now. You don't run as fast. You don't move as quick. You needed new track shoes. But when you was in there making the purchase, Devin done walked into the store. Now you got to fight to get out. I never put this guy on a pedestal. I was never sold. And no matter how much you try, and I'm talking to the media and these fans, no matter how much you try to whitewash history, we know the truth. That's why we're here sounding so repetitive. Because we know if you tell a lie long enough, some people will view it as truth. We're quality control. Love it, hate it, love to hate it. We here, baby. Let's go, Devin. Stop this fool. Make him quit on the stool. That's a bar. Bronx on deck.